Your teammates had a great year because of you, and your team won its division. What more could we say? Steve Nash, 2005-2006 NBA Most Valuable Player.
Well, obviously, I think about that because it is the main focus of my life. But at the same time, I love my teammates, and I hope the best for our whole team as a whole. So, it's not that hard to put it behind me, even though I will eventually think about that.
Rick Majerus, the head coach at Utah, calls him the poor man's John Stockton, and he's got some definite skills. In fact, among the skills, not just dishing the ball off, the guy's a tremendous free throw shooter, nearly 90%.
With the 15th pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns select Steve Nash from the University of Santa Clara.
Well, there's a lot of pressure there because you never know where you're going to go, and I think people are always speculating this and that. And, I just went out there with a positive attitude and tried to control things that I could control and not worry about the extracurricular stuff. So I was really pleased with my performance in Phoenix, and it definitely helped me.
Here we've seen playmaker, we've seen Goon. Now tonight, Steve Nash, ball hog. You took 17 shots. What's going on?
Well, it's about time I got some darn playing time,
Trying to get it all into one game?
I'm tired of it.
This is what it is. The Nash is involved in that deal, but Nash is not going to Milwaukee. He's going to Dallas with Nowinski, and Traylor is going to Milwaukee. So it's a three-way deal.
Dallas is a terrific sports city, and to be a part of an organization and a team that is definitely on the rise, it's just a tremendous feeling, especially being young, coming from a situation where I really wasn't utilized as much as maybe I would have liked. This is just tremendously exciting.
The Dallas Mavericks. Let's find out who they're going to start. Tonight's starting lineup at other guard, a fellow that played with the Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash, Santa Clara, 6'3", 185, third year.
Steve Nash with 18. You see, Detroit doesn't want to come off anybody. They don't want to come off Nowitzki. They don't want to come off Finley. They don't want to come off Sabalas. So what happens is it opens lanes for Nash.
Finally, in 2001, it all began to pay off, with Nash emerging as the fiery leader and Dirk as his perfect wingman. They would finally end the Mavs' 11-year playoff drought, and in the process become perennial all-stars.
Unbelievable comeback victory by the Dallas Mavericks as they send the Jazz packing. Unbelievable comeback. In that fourth quarter, they trailed 71-57, and they win it.
Each other at half court, and the San Antonio Spurs will go on to meet the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. They will begin on Saturday.
Steve Nash is up, guys.
Can't believe he's Nike.
Steve Nash of the Dallas Mavericks just turned 28 on Thursday, hitting 44% from the arc in the regular season. He's ready to go.
He's 28 now.
Wow.
I just love to make plays. I love to, make a play defensively or set up one of my teammates or score myself. It's always the most fun is when you make something happen. As a point guard, when you have vision, you're able to make the game so much easier for yourself and your teammates.
Dallas tied this series at 1. I think the common feeling was Dallas was primed, they grabbed and captured home court advantage. But what a week it has been for the Sacramento Kings.
I think this is a team that isn't scared of anybody and isn't a team that's going to fold because we lost a couple of games. The regular season isn't the be-all and end-all. We just have to keep progressing. We just want to be ready. We want to be better defensively, better offensively. So when the playoffs come, we're at top form, not now.
Dallas Mavericks with a 112-99 victory. Nowitzki with 40 points, 19 rebounds. And the Dallas Mavericks are hearing the applause from this crowd. Greg Popovich and Don Nelson congratulated each other. San Antonio outscored Dallas 34-9.
A loose ball foul called on Steve, his second. Steve has struggled offensively in the game, hitting only 2 of 7 shots. He'll sit down for the final 6 before heading to the locker room.
The Kings are going on, and the Mavericks are going home. The season is over for Nelly, and may that be the last time we see him as the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Sacramento has won round 1, 4-1.
Mike Bibby money is what he wanted, which was like the max out at the time, which sounds so insane right now, right? Steve had only played like 28, 29 minutes a game that previous year, and we were worried about the injuries. That was it in a nutshell.
A fixture for 6 seasons, adored by his followers, Steve Nash seemed to have the magic touch in leading the Mavericks to 4 straight playoff appearances, twice earning All-Star honors. But that's the past. Steve Nash is now a Phoenix Sun.
He is so diminutive in physical stature. But with and without Steve Nash, you're talking about the tale of two cities. When he plays, they beat everybody. When he doesn't play, they can't beat a single squad. This guy is the MVP.
Steve Nash is so crafty, Tom, in transition. Best layup shooter in the NBA right now. He has replaced John Stockton in that regard. Great mid-range jump shooter, can shoot the three. He is a nightmare and perhaps the NBA's MVP right now.
I'm not as good a player as Shaquille or Dirk, but the impact I'm able to have in the team setting has been noticed this year, and I think that that's tremendous for the game to highlight what it takes for a team to be successful.
Nash with the game high 46. The other way, he's got 48 in 42 minutes.
This guy is indefatigable. Do you have an indication on what that means?
That means Coach.
He doesn't get tired.
Is there any sweetness attached to this for you?
Heck of a lot better than losing. So I'm just going to say that. I always wanted to finish my career at Maverick, but I've had an incredible time. These guys are a lot of fun to play with, and I'm having as much fun as I've ever had.
Phoenix Suns, for many, this is really their first long playoff run. And perhaps part of the ongoing progress this team has made. What a great turnaround. But advancing in the playoffs is another story, and you need that playoff experience.
Steve Nash maybe having a better season than he did last year when he won MVP. D'Antoni might be out coaching himself, more demonstrative on the sideline, showing that fire and fury for the Suns this season, while Amari Stoudemire has been out.
It's difficult for everybody. I shouldn't take any more responsibility or credit for the mistakes I've made thus far. I haven't played as well as I'd like, and I'm just getting warmed up. I'll be better.
He had 13 and 9 assists. Kobe limited to 1 point in half number 2. Suns a Game 7 winner, 121-90. It's on to the second round where they will meet the Clippers.
Your teammates had a great year because of you, and your team won its division. What more could we say? Steve Nash, 2005-2006 NBA Most Valuable Player.
When the pressures rises and the games mean the most, that's when it's the most fun. And I think that that's what all the hard work's for. I mean, you'd like to put pressure on yourself all the time, but it's not the same. Game 7 really brings out the best.
As head coach, and what a season it's been for Dallas. The 60 wins to match the best record in franchise history. They finished second in the West behind San Antonio in the playoffs.
After falling short 2 years in a row, Phoenix players are starting to believe a title is within their grasp.
We want to win it, and we all expect to improve every year because of the expectations we've set for ourselves. We're real sharp, but that's a tough situation. They have nothing to lose at that point. Everyone expects them to be out, and they start making some shots and make it a little more difficult. So I thought we handled it fairly well.
31 points, 8 assists, but his nose would not stop bleeding. He'd have to stay on the bench, and his son struggled without him. The trainer could not stop Nash's bleeding. He missed a crucial 45 seconds over the game's final minute.
We've had allegations of dirty play, a knee to the groin, a vicious forearm, and players leaving the bench to protect teammates. All of that, and we're only 4 games into a series that looks like is headed to the distance.
I was trying to skate between him and the boards, and he got me with a nice hip check. What can I say? It was a pretty nice check. You have to kind of stand up for yourself sometimes. You got to roll with the punches, literally a lot of the time. To get a chance to play with Shaquille O'Neal is pretty exciting. An experienced champion. He's got the size that we've always lacked. He can defend the post, which is something we've been weak.
Now it is Shaq and Steve Nash. But it'll be interesting to see Nash and O'Neal, 2 MVPs, getting on the same page. As you saw, it's the 12th time in the history of the league that 2 MVP winners are teammates.
Phoenix has been eliminated. San Antonio has closed out the series. The game was tied at 85 with 2 minutes left, and San Antonio closes it out on a 7-2 run.
Feels good. A good time of year, and that you're happy to be back out there, but it's also difficult trying to get your rhythm and build a team again. So, but we're happy to be here. Yeah, it was a very disappointing year for us. We, didn't expect to have so many troubles and so many different things happen to us. But, we'll learn from it and just move forward and hopefully be better for it. We didn't have a full season playing one way.
Steve Nash will continue to hand out pinpoint passes to his son's teammates. Nash's agent confirms the two-time NBA MVP has agreed to a 2-year, $22 million contract extension.
We got to go back to the culture of what we are, and that is that we're a running team, we're an attack team. We want to try to keep defenses on their heels. That's how we've been successful here the last 4.5 years. When you have Steve Nash as the quarterback, he's the engine that makes the car work.
Somehow I willed the first 3 to go in, and it kind of gave me enough confidence just to worry about my legs and my shot and hope for the best. We had a great opportunity. My teammates have been phenomenal, and you don't get many cracks like this. So, I just wanted to give what I could for my teammates.
The Los Angeles Lakers have taken the Western Conference Final in 6. The defending champions making it back to the NBA Finals, and they will face the Boston Celtics.
New York's going to love Amari. I've had the pleasure of playing with him for 6 seasons. In some ways, it feels like, losing a family member. Obviously, we've had a great relationship and connectivity on the court. Same as always, when you lose, you look to improve on the things you didn't do. I think our team's, obviously been disappointed in the season overall. Last night was no different. So we had a good stretch. Now we're having a bad stretch. We got to find a way to end this as quickly as possible.
Phoenix Suns guard Steve Nash says he expects to play with the Suns through next season. Nash says he's focused on the Suns, but with his contract expiring this season, many NBA insiders speculate that he could land on Broadway via trade.
You are in MVP form. Turn back the clock a couple of years.
I feel like I've pretty much played at the same level the whole time in Phoenix. I want to stay playing at a high level, but more importantly, I want our team to kind of find a rhythm and a confidence and cohesion together so that we can win some games. For me, I just want our team to be as competitive as possible. There's a lot of factors involved. I couldn't predict. I don't know what the future holds at this point, and I'm actually okay with that. I think now's the time to try to find a clear perspective on where I am.
Steve Nash, Los Angeles Laker.
It was the perfect fit, for me moving forward. And once the Suns decided to go in a new direction, I felt like I had to do what was best for my kids and my family. And I'm just lucky that they're also a terrific basketball team.
How good does Nash make the Lakers?
Well, he makes them very good. He definitely is a significant upgrade. They have somebody that's a threat from the perimeter at that point guard spot. He is a leader. He's somebody that will command the respect of everybody he's on the floor with.
As he gives it to Antoine Jamison. Slide to the basket, get the pass, lay it up, lay it in for Steve Nash's 10,000th assist.
And Nash and Howard getting into it about Nash was telling him to move. Howard said he's wide open. The smaller guard was trapped. Howard wanted it thrown up. You can get into it, but it's just happening too often.
Steve Nash out for tomorrow. Now, Steve Nash was scheduled to have an MRI today, but they decided against it. Steve Nash did participate in agility drills as well as jogging, which we know that he hadn't done for some time now.
Fan base as there is in sports, and the purple and gold will be back next year. And a disappointing way to end, and please don't ever forget the memory of Dr. Jerry Buss.
Sure, Steve Nash was nearing 40. Nash's stay in L.A., though, has been one big injury. He's missed 75 of 135 games with the Lakers due to ankle, neck, hip, and hamstring problems complicated by nerve damage.
We're even more disappointed for Steve. We know how hard he's worked the last 2 years to try to get his body right for the rigors of the NBA, and how badly he wants to play. But unfortunately, he simply hasn't been able to get there up to this point in time.
Steve Nash, one of Canada's greatest sports stars, is calling it quits. He's 41 and being plagued by injury over the past 3 seasons. His 19-year career has been stellar, twice winning the league's MVP.
Even when you get here, standing on this stage, it's the striving, fighting, pushing yourself to the limit every day that you'll miss and you'll long for. You'll never be more alive than when you give something everything you have. Thank you.